think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I think part of it is I think that I think, and this is more about, I feel like we need to give them a room to kind of be creative and with their own way. I think another thing that we need to kind of educate or help them is more like things need to be earned, right? I remember the early day when I was in US as an immigrant. It's not easy, man. I mean, it's well, English not my first language, and work in marketing is like crazy. Oil and gas, fuel, it's like all of the worst of the worst. I jump in, and I feel like in the early day, I need to earn things. I feel like that's something that we need to teach the younger generation is that, well, because things come to them very easy, right? The money, the fame, everything come to them too easy. I think that the thing that to help them is working hard and love what you do, right? And actually try to, you know, honing on your skill, because I think it's so easy nowadays that you can Google and search and you call yourself an expert on certain thing, but the level of detail, the in-depth analysis on and understand the topic is not there anymore, and people don't patient enough to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that I feel like we need to go back to the fundamental, right? Helping people to love what they do, and I don't think that's enough out there.
That's one of my pet peeves actually when someone says they're expert, like, okay, like I'll do an example. Like if you're like, let's suppose you did HR recruiting for like a manufacturing company. Are you really an HR expert? Or you're an expert on recruiting for manufacturing, right?
Correct.
So you're telling me you're HR expert on every single thing of HR, payroll, benefits, everything, right? And it drives me batshit crazy. People call themselves an expert in anything, right?
Yeah.
Are you really? Like,
Yeah, I guess that as well. And I think that's helping in this market. Remember earlier, I'm saying that in US, you maybe have A, B talents. In here, you maybe have C, D, F talents that basically go from US to Vietnam and claim themselves in the B, right? It's just like you go to you big fish in small pond, right? I mean, that's what a lot of people do in Vietnam. And I think that there was certain thing we had to be careful for when you claim you're expert, right? Especially in training, that's what is something that we do. That in Vietnam is not enough body to do a good quality control on training, right? What happened is that a lot of people claim themselves expert, but they are not expert. They claim themselves a trainer on certain thing, but they're not certified for it, right? So there's certain thing that we have to be super clear and careful about. That's why at Smarter, what I try to do beside the platform, I actually focus on helping connect the right expert from US, from other more developed country to Vietnam, right? Maybe you can do a hybrid consultant. Maybe you can be part of a project that we gonna consult some certain company. But I feel like, well, we're gonna help you vetting the right expert, right? You can still live in Seattle, but you can support the people here in Vietnam through a conference call. But I have to vetting if you're actually expert, right? So that's a kind of my goal, right? Because I think if we just limit ourselves to the talent in Vietnam right now, we will never be able to accomplish what we Vietnam set up to be. So
so next, I want to talk about your logo real fast. So is that like a tree on your logo?
yeah, man.
Can you talk about talk about that story, like the background of that?
Oh, this is an interesting story. So when you look at this, the people have a different way look at this, and that's intentional, right?
So
So
I'm guessing is it like a tree, like mind mapping, something like that?
okay, so think a tree mind mapping. Okay, good. That's the one way.
Am I on the right path or I'm right?
You're on the right path.
Okay.
You're on the right path. All right. So when I do this logo initially, right? There's two things you look at this. One is yes, it's a tree because we focus on people, tree applying, growing people. It's need patient, like growing a tree is that's something that's why the tree, right? The second part of it is if you look at it, it's actually a light bulb. It's a light bulb. Now I'm talking about it, you see a light bulb, right? Because it's the sparkling light inside of a bulb, light bulb, right? And then it's draw the tree, right? So what it meant is, well, it's a good idea. It's smarter. It's a better idea. It's smarter idea, right? So it's the light bulb represent for that in good idea. It's the sparkling because it's the connecting people to other people, right? and it's a tree because related to the people. So one day maybe redesign it, but that's the concept of the logo, right?
So when I first saw this, I saw a tree, but now you see a light bulb. Now I see the light bulb. I don't see a tree.
See, I'm telling you, that's it. Beautiful it is.
Yeah. Now I
Yeah,
see the light bulb. I don't see a tree anymore. I just see, yeah.
yeah.
So Van, is there anything else I asked you that I didn't ask you yet, or anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long we've been doing this already.
I think, well, if you don't count the breaks we had, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, like we covered most of the topic already. I think that maybe you asked me a lot of questions, but I'd like to ask you some questions as well.
Okay.
If it's possible,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Because we both in HR tech, and I know that you want to do a little bit of AI related to HR as well.
Mhm.
So you asked me about like how I think about AI and HR.
Mhm.
How about you? What do you think about it?
I mean, I think AI is at the bottom, right? So to speak, the genie's at the bottle. So if you're HR, any kind of company, I think you have to integrate AI some kind of way, right? You have to use it in like a sustainable, good way, like you can't say, I'm firing my 10 people and replace with one AI model, right? I mean, I definitely can use those too, right?